Hello guys, I'm back. Today I will share with you what is plan design for a chemical process engineer. My name is Jefferson Costa and I teach students, graduates and engineers how to work with chemical process engineering and plan design. To learn what is plan design for a chemical process engineer, first you need to know what is plan design. And plan design is a series of activities inside a project. A project is defined by scope, schedule, and cost. So let's take a look in the following example. Total Energy, in association with the Saudi Arabian oil company, announced the construction of a petrochemical complex where the need is to produce ethylene and polyethylene for the market. And the market to be fed is the specialty chemicals part. So the project borns to supply a need for the market, and the chemical process engineer in this context is responsible for, based on the product specifications, in this case, polyethylene, ethylene, propylene, butadiene, and aromatics, and the availability of raw materials, in this case, gases, naphtha, ethane, light naphtha. The chemical process engineer in plant design will select the best process to produce the products based on the available raw materials. So this is the core business of the chemical process engineer in plant design. And to be able to do that, to select and to develop, to select and propose the best process, the chemical process engineer needs to develop a series of documentation, because without this documentation, it's not possible to erect, to commissioning, to start and operate a petrochemical complex. There are some authors that distinguish or differentiate what is process design from plan design. In this context, based on Carlson and Richardson, process design covers the step from the initial selection of the process to be used through the issuing of process flow sheets, and includes the selection, specification, and chemical engineering design of equipment. We can see this scope of work in this square on blue, where we have the initial evaluation based on the project specifications. So based on the scope of the project, we do the initial evaluation, we do the process selection, the preliminary flow diagrams, and based on that, we perform the heat and material balance, preliminary equipment selection and design, process flow sheeting, preliminary cost estimation, and if the economics of the project is okay, we have the authorization of the funds. To proceed to the next stage, that is plan design, according to this author, we will perform also the pipe instrumentation diagram in preliminary format, and also the detailed design, process design, flow sheets, chemical engineering equipment design, specification, reactors, unit operations, heat exchangers, miscellaneous equipment, material selection, and process manuals. So this would be what is process design based on Carlson and Richardson. And this is needed to go to the next step, that is plan design. And the plan design in this context includes the detailed mechanical design of equipment, the structural, civil, electrical design, and specification design of the ancillary service. So in this case, we have here the instrument selection specification, equipment selection specification, vessels design, heat exchanger design, utilities, and other service design. All of that are inputs to the next, or to a series of deliverables in plan design. That includes the piping design, structure design, layout design, electrical design, and etc. And with all these together done, we are able to do the purchase of the equipment, we go to the construction, startup, commissioning, and finally operations and selling of a project. I don't like to use this kind of classification, because I understand, for instance, that the utilities and other service is the job of the chemical process engineer. If not in the licensor, it is done in the engineering company, in a EPC company, for instance. So everything, in my point of view, is plan design, and of course that each discipline has their own responsibility inside plan design. So what is plan design for a chemical process engineer? The plan design for a chemical process engineer is the development of a series of engineering documentation to be able to erect a plant based on the correlation or based on the interface with other disciplines. And now I will share with you, I will show you some of the main documentation that is performed by the chemical process engineer in plan design. One of the first ones to be done for sure is the engineering drawings, because based on the scope of the project, we need to translate that into drawings in order that make it easier for us, chemical process engineers, and also other disciplines understand how is the process that are being or that is being developed. So in this context, most often we start the block with the block flow diagram. Imagine that in a petrochemical complex, we have many units. We have units for purification, units for pre-purification, for reactions, and etc. So based on that, we started doing blocks or squares in a flow sheet in order to identify what are the main streams on this process. So to get as an example here, imagine that we are dealing with oil terminal, and our oil terminal will have, for instance, the pig launcher will have the pig receiver, will have the slug catcher, and here we have the flags associated with the streams that go into the process, and we have the flags associated with the streams that is going out of the project. So the main purpose of the block flow diagram is to identify these main streams. We can identify the values of pressure, temperature, flow, composition in the block flow diagram or not, depends on the requirements of the client. But this is just the first drawing to be developed by the chemical process engineer. One deliverable of the project, in fact, is the process flow diagram, where the main objective is to show the main equipments, the main controls, and the main lines, streamlines associated with the heating material balance. So you can see here that from the process flow diagram, for the block flow diagram, the process flow diagram is more detailed, has more information in comparison with the block flow diagram. And when developing the process flow diagram, you must avoid some kinds of information that is not required, unless that the companies explicitly ask you to have in the process flow diagram. The main purpose is to have the equipment, so we can see now that in this case, the slug catcher, for instance, most probably will be a horizontal vessel separator with a level control, and this slug catcher has a control here also to close the feed stream to the pig receiver. So this is a way to let easier to the user to know what is happening in this process. And all of this is important because we will let easier to you to perform the heating material balance that is in association with the process flow diagram, one of the basic information in plan design for chemical process engineers. The heating material balance in association can be shown in association with the process flow diagram, or it can be delivered apart, especially when we have too much streams in a process. As much complex is a process, more streams will have associated with that. So it's easier to deliver a specific document for that. The heating material balance, in general terms, starts with the main equipment to the process. In a process where we have reactions, most often we will start the heating material balance from the reactor to the boundaries. If we are talking a process that doesn't have a reactor but has a distillation column, for instance, we will start from the distillation column for the boundaries. And what I talk about the boundaries? Because a reactor will have very well defined by the research and development team. What is the temperature and what is the pressure required to the good operation and to the good performance of the reactor. And let's suppose that a reactor needs to operate at 300 Celsius degree and 10 bar G. And the feed available is at 40 Celsius degree and 1 bar A. So to be able to reach the required conditions for the reactor, we need to have other equipment, and that's why we start from the main equipment to the boundaries in order that we reach the raw materials feed in the inlet battery limit up to the product specifications at the outlet battery limit. And what are the minimum information in a heating material balance? Usually the mass flow, the temperature, the pressure, and the composition. And we can have other information also like the properties of the fluid. That will depend on how detailed must be issued this information for the client. And of course that a heating material balance can be done by hand calculation, can be done with using spreadsheets like in the Microsoft Excel, but most often the heating material balance will be performed by process simulation softwares. And we do that to increase productivity because inside the process simulation software, we already have the components database. Imagine that you have a process with 20 different components, and each time that you need to know what is the mass density of a component, you need to go to the Perry to verify what is the information. Or you need to know the viscosity and you need to go to Perry to verify what is the information. And the mass density, viscosity varies with temperature and with pressure, depending if it is gas, if it is liquid. So to solve all of these issues, the process simulation software has a data bank where we have the thermodynamic models and all the equipment equations used to perform the calculation for pumps, for compressors, for vessel separators, for distillation columns, and etc. There are many process simulations available in the market. The Aspen Plus is one of the leading process simulation software for chemical industry. So if you are in the chemical industry, most probably you will face yourself when you are looking for process engineering jobs to be able to use the Aspen Plus. When we are talking about hydrocarbon processing, one of the lead process simulation software of the market is the Aspen HYSYS, and both of them are developed and issued by the AspenTech. We have the DWSIM. DWSIM is not so complete as Aspen Plus and Aspen HYSYS because it is a free software to download and use. So if you need to get familiar with chemical process engineering plant design using a process simulation software, eventually it's helpful to you to download this kind or this software to your computer and get skilled on it. You can verify the link to download the DWSIM in the description of this video. More videos related to the DWSIM in my YouTube channel, so get this opportunity to subscribe and activate the notifications for new videos. When you go to a design company or engineering company, you will find process simulation softwares available there, commercial process simulation softwares there, but they are not cheap. They can cost around $10,000 to $30,000 per year for just one user license. So if you are in a smaller company or in a company that don't do plan design, eventually you will not have process simulation software available to you. So that's why can be very helpful to know how to use the DWSim, because eventually DWSim can help you in your daily activities as a chemical process engineer. We perform the heating material balance to be able to do the selection or to do the sizing of the equipment. Most often, we believe that chemical process engineers will do the design of equipment, but most of the equipment we don't do the design, the mechanical design. We do the sizing and selection. For instance, for rotating equipment, for compressors, for instance, based on a chart of selection, we'll select what is the best or what is the type of compressor that fits to our process based on the flow and based on the pressure of the system. For pumps, is the same. We don't do or we don't suggest the mechanical design of a pump. What we do is based on the process conditions. We select what is the best type of pump for that service, and based on the best type, we do a selection based on the pumps offered by the vendor. So here there is a classical pump selection chart where based on the flow and based on the head of the pump, we select which one best fits to our needs. One of the equipments that we design or that we calculate the diameter and the age is vessel or pressure vessels, like vessel separators and distillation columns or absorption columns, for instance. But the definition of the thickness of the equipment, the weldings, and everything related to the mechanical design is not performed by the process engineer. In any case, in any one of these equipments, heat exchangers, vessel separators, distillation columns, pumps, compressors, and etc., we are responsible for giving the inputs, process inputs for other disciplines. And we do that filling what is called the process data sheets for equipment, for control valves, for pressure relief devices, and etc. With the process flow diagram, heating material balance, and equipment sizing, not necessarily we do this in a sequence, sometimes we do it in parallel, we are able to develop the piping instrumentation diagram. So here we have in our terminal example, we have the block flow diagram where the main objective is to define the main units related to this process. After that, we have the process flow diagram where we are able to verify or to see the main equipments and main controls, and also the material streams associated to each one of these lines. And we go deeper, we get into more detail in the pipe instrumentation diagram, where the main objective is to show information related to the piping materials, size, pressure rating, and to show the control of the process. So you can see here that the pig launcher, now we have isolation valve at the bottom of this equipment or at the outlet of this equipment. We have a bypass valve that is not shown in the process flow diagram because we don't show manual valves in the process flow diagram most often. We have here the feed line with isolation valve and a bypass with two valves in series, and we have a series of instrumentation and control here to be able to operate this unit. Any drawing that you are dealing with in plan design, you will have a stamp identifying what is the name of the project, what is the name of the the number of the document, what are the people responsible for developing that in terms of author, verifier, and approver. It is with the pipe instrumentation diagram that we have the main relationship with other disciplines. So the the equipment engineer, pipe engineer, control engineer, instrumentation engineer, electrical engineer, and other disciplines will use the pipe instrumentation diagram to develop their jobs. To be able to add the instrumentation required for your control loops, we will need first to be able to identify what is the meaning of the letters that is shown in the pen ID. So for instance here, we have a drain pot here, a condensate pot in fact, where we have isolation valve at the bottom, isolation valve at the top. We have here a pressure relief device that is a PSV, pressure safety valve, and we have a LEG, LIT, LAC, and how all of this is identified and added to the pipe instrumentation diagram by the chemical process engineer. In fact, we use sheets of symbols, and here I have a instruction for the identification letters for the instrumentation and control loops. So for instance, if I get a drawing and I need to read, or if I need to develop a pipe instrumentation diagram, I will go to this in the table here and I will identify what is LIT. LIT, the first letter is L, so it means that is level. This instrument is used for level. The second letter is I, so I will see here that is a indicate or an indicator, and I have the third letter that is T, that in this case is a transmit or a transmitter. So the meaning here, what is this instrument here, is a level indicator transmitter. So the instrumentation engineer will know what it means. It is an instrument that must be bought by the project, and with the process flow, with the process datasheet for the instruments, we will include this instrumentation here, identified under this number, and with those information, the instrumentation engineer will be able to do the specification datasheet to give to the procurement, and the procurement will talk to the vendor and will follow the working flow to the purchase of this instrument. The same for the others. I have a LG, so L, as we have seen as first letter, is level, and G, if we go to the table, is the glass. So it's a glass level. So I can verify the level of this vessel here based in a glass. So this is the meaning of this. And as I told you, this is a multidisciplinary document. So in the pipe instrumentation diagram, the automation engineer will verify this kind of symbol here, and he or she knows that it is a digital signal. So my level indicator controller receives signal from the level indicator transmitter, and the signal is sent to the control valve. That is a level valve. So it is a valve to control the level of this vessel. And I have the isolation valves for the maintenance of the PSV and so on. So as a chemical process engineer plant design, you will perform the drawings needed during the development of the project using the symbol sheets that is available based on the guidelines given by the customer or based on the guidelines available in the engineering company. Now that you know what is plant design for a chemical process engineer, how about learning how to perform flash separation on Aspen Plus? How to use process simulation software to perform calculations as a real chemical process engineer. You just need to click in the video that's appearing right now. So see you soon.